What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Brian Hikes All Day here. Today I wanted to talk to you about how I plan for a sunrise hike. I know it's been a popular topic for a few of you. You've really wanted me to put out a vlog explaining to you how I do it. So I'm going to teach you all the tips and tricks that have helped me plan my sunrise hikes pretty accurately. Okay, so one of the first things that you got to do is you got to track all your hikes. I record them all on AllTrails. It gives you a breakdown of pace per mile. Now, I look at pace per mile, but with elevation gain also. So I've noticed over, say, 10 hikes that I've averaged between a 17 and a 20-minute mile on a flat. I've averaged between a 30 and a 35-minute mile on a 1,000-foot elevation gain mile. And between 1,000 and 2,000 foot per mile, I would say a 45-minute mile has been pretty average for me. So if I have, just say, a 10-mile hike with 4,000 feet of elevation gain, just say I have a 6-mile flat approach and 4 miles of climbing at 1,000 foot per mile. I know the first 6 miles are 20 minutes per mile, and the last 4 are going to be like whatever I just said, 30, 35 minutes per mile. I'll usually use the higher end of that, and then I'll try to plan for about 45 minutes before the sun rises, because usually you end up eating that 15 minutes. And I typically like to be on top of a mountain 30 minutes before the sunrise, because typically the most beautiful colors in the morning start around 30 minutes before sunrise. And once the actual sunrise happens, that's when the colors start going away. So typically for a sunrise hike, you want to start and get up there well before the sunrise. A lot of times you can't really tell what conditions you're going to encounter. So I always like to give a little bit of extra leeway. I get a really good ballpark of where I need to be. Like, I always plan for 45 minutes before at least. If it's the winter and you know for sure the trail is freshly packed and broken, you can pretty much account for almost a summer pace. Again, vlog your winter hikes, get your ballpark average for your winter pace. For me, my winter and summer pace is pretty much exactly the same if the trails are perfectly broken out in the winter. Me personally, I keep an eye on the weather for like 2 weeks before the hike. I'm looking at the summit forecast, the regular forecast. I'm looking at everything every day and just jotting down notes of how much snow accumulation, this or that. I keep track of the Adirondack Trail Conditions page, and I see what people are posting on the Aspiring 46ers page and the Adirondack Backcountry. So again, if you know exactly that the trail is going to be hard packed and broken out, you can plan very accurately. If you can't find any information and you can't find anyone that's broken out that trail, assume the worst, assume you're going to be breaking trail. For me personally, breaking trail through, let's just say a foot of snow. I feel like a good foot of snow is about average of what you might encounter if you haven't heard anything. Unless you know of a storm that dropped several feet of snow, I feel like a good foot, even if it's wind drifted, a good foot is a good ballpark to say that you're probably going to be breaking out at least a foot of snow. A few inches, it's not really a big deal. Doesn't really take that much out of you. But I feel like a foot or more, that's when it really starts slowing you down. For me personally, through all my previous recordings, I have never done slower than a 1 hour mile, no matter how deep the trail breaking is, minus the one time on Marcy Skylight Gray when I was breaking trail through 4 feet of snow solo. I was averaging about 35 minutes per 1/10 of a mile, and that's the only really exception. But if I'm breaking trail through a foot of snow, I have never broken trail slower than 1 hour per mile, no matter how steep the incline is. So if I don't think the trail is going to be broken out, I'm just going to assume maybe 30 to 40 minute mile on the flats and a 1 hour mile on the inclines, and that should get me to the summit pretty close to where I want to be. There's no guarantees. Breaking trail in the winter, you just really can't account for it. Sometimes you're good, sometimes you're not. There's just too many variables there. The only way you could really get somewhere for sunrise in the winter, breaking trail, is to just leave ridiculously early to guarantee it. But if you're trying to plan it closely, it's really hard to plan. But for the most part, you know, tracking your hikes, learning your pace per mile, per elevation gain, learning your summer pace, learning your winter pace, and just getting a ballpark average. I always take the higher number, the average. If I average a 15 to an 18 minute mile, I'm just going to say 20-minute mile for the flats, You know, if I'm averaging a 35 or like if I'm averaging like a 32, 33-minute mile, I'm going to say a 35-minute mile. If I'm averaging a 40-minute mile, I'm just going to say 45-minute mile when I'm trying to plan the sunrise hikes. I try to give myself a few minutes of leeway. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just tracking your hikes, learning your pace, and paying attention to the weather, the trail conditions, and all the different variables to learn. I'd say that doing that is going to get you very accurate times for your hikes. I mean, it's worked for me. I've been doing sunrise hikes for the last 3 years. If you guys have been following my channel, you know that Brittany and I are out constantly doing sunrise hikes. So I've gotten pretty good at figuring out my pace and everything else. So that's pretty much it. I can't really think much more about that. I'm thinking about my next YouTube vlog. Let me know what you think. I'm thinking about, you know, the planning, the preparation for the Northeast Ultra 8. I'm also thinking about like how we eat pre and post hike, you know, the nutrition going into the hike, because, you know, you are what you eat. Food is fuel, and if you fuel properly, you feel a lot better. You'll be able to hike longer, harder, faster, and you won't die out as much. So I'm thinking that's a really good topic for next. If you guys have any suggestions for topics, please let me know. I'm also thinking about doing a question and answer with Brittany and I. So if you guys want to send in questions, me and Brittany will make a vlog together answering all your questions. You know, just leave me a question below. Let me know whether it's directed more towards me or Brittany. And, you know, we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. So I'll see you guys on the next one. And hopefully you guys give me some insight on the next one. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.